All right, what is going on, you guys? It is your boy Killer Cam with my NFL weekly recap. So, this video is going to be a little bit different. In this video, I'm going to be recapping the Thursday night game and the 1 o'clock games for the NFL Week 1. What I'm planning on doing is doing a Thursday night separate and then doing 1 o'clock games with 425 games in one video, then doing Sunday night separate and Monday night separate, or I may just do 1 o'clock games, 425. Y'all let me know what y'all want. Anyway, let's get into this. The opening game of the NFL season, the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs beat the Houston Texans 34-20. This final score indicated that this game was a lot closer than what it actually appeared. This game was not close by any means. This game, at one point, Kansas City was up 31-7 in this game. They dominated. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the big man, did everything he could do. You know, the running back looked good. I think he had 137, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. I think it was like 137 that he had rushing. I mean, Houston looked like they were in big trouble. I don't know if it was just the team they were playing or if that was like that, but Kansas City has all the makings of repeating as Super Bowl champs. I mean, they were good before, but now with them adding that running game, they're godly. They're, I don't know. They added them. They did good. Houston, Deshaun Watson played pretty good, and JJ had a decent game. Outside of that, though, nobody in Houston really played all that well. You know, Kansas City dominated on all of the phases of the game. David Johnson scored the game opening touchdown, though. Houston was up 7-0. David Johnson played all right. Definitely, though, you could tell they were hurting. Excuse me. Without DeAndre Hopkins. But hey, that's what happens when you trade arguably the best wide receiver in football to the Arizona Cardinals and you dish him out. I mean, that's just stupidity to me. Mahomes looked good, as he always did. So did Kelsey. And just all around. And I wanted to take a minute because I know that the players were booed before the whole national anthem. I understand the protests that they're doing, and I do agree with it. I'm all for equality. I think that it is important. I think the NFL is handling it in a pretty respectful way. I just don't like how, I don't know, they're getting booed about it. Nevertheless, I digress and I move on. I know not everybody likes it, but we move on to the first week 1 game. I don't know why it's like this. It's supposed to be Panthers were the home team, Raiders are the road team. So the Las Vegas Raiders take on the Carolina Panthers in a Sunday afternoon game. Pretty good. You know, I saw this game. This game and the Green Bay game, as y'all know, I'm a Packers fan. I was watching these two live. My girlfriend is a Panthers fan, so you know, I picked the Panthers to win. And at one point, they were down. I think they were down by 12, and they had scored 15 unanswered points at one point in the game. I know Joey Sly had missed an extra point. Henry Ruggs had went out for a couple series, had gotten hurt, and then had come back in and was looking pretty good. Josh Jacobs, man, just 3 touchdowns on the ground. I mean, he destroyed that secondary for the Panthers. And Christian McCaffrey, of course, he's one of the best running backs in the entire league, if not the best. Had a great game on the ground as well. You can tell how much the loss of Greg Olsen kind of hurt this team, as well as the loss of Luke Kuechly in the offseason. It really seemed to hurt him. You know, you could just tell that it hurt him. Derek Carr, pretty decent from him. You know, I love seeing some of the stuff from Henry Ruggs. You know, I don't really think there was that many sacks in this game, to be honest. Couple questionable calls here and there in the game, but that's pretty much every game. Teddy Bridgewater looked impressive with Carolina. I loved Matt Rule's play calling. I felt like sometimes he was aggressive, and I feel like that's the type of coaching that the Panthers need. They're kind of in a rebuild, but at the same time, they don't want this to be another lost season. Because where do you go from here? You're not going to tank for Trevor Lawrence. You're not going to, turn around. Are you going to get a defensive playmaker? Or are you going to get somebody on the offense? Somebody on the O-line? You never know. If Bridgewater doesn't work out, do you go the Trevor Lawrence route? Do you go Justin Fields? Who knows? As the season goes on, I guess we'll get more and more. But yeah, tough loss for Carolina. They play Tampa Bay next week. The Las Vegas Raiders go Monday Night Football against New Orleans. Next up, we have the debut of the Washington football team with new head coach Ron Rivera. And yes, you are not seeing anything wrong. The Washington football team get a huge upset over the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, all of these games, except for the Jaguars game, did not have any fans in attendance. Well, the Chiefs game did also have fans, but you could hear the crowd noise, and it was cool how they did it. But nevertheless, the Eagles were up in the second quarter in this game, 17-0, and the O lineman just got hurt, and it really helped that defensive line of the Washington football team. They looked good. 27 unanswered points. Chase Young was an absolute stud and an absolute ungodly beast in this game. As well as the rest of Washington's team. Dwayne Haskins was pretty much managing the game like he was supposed to. He made some good throws here and there. For the most part, though, that D-line looked incredible. I think if Washington can play half of their games like they did here, they could be in good shape. I know it's one game beginning of the season, but Washington impressed me a lot today with that upset against Philly. And if they play like they did, especially with a defensive-oriented coach like Ron Rivera, they may could be a sleeper to win the division or at least get a wild card spot. Especially with Dallas losing, and you never know what the Giants and Steelers play tomorrow night at the time of this recording. So, hey, I don't know. I just, I know the Eagles struggled, They were up 17-0. Like I said, Wentz was on the money, making throws, doing everything he had to do. Darius Slay was looking good. Everything was just going absolutely incredible for the Eagles. Then Washington started to really ball out. And big ups to Washington, big props to them. I want to say congrats on the upset. I mean, what more can you say about Washington? Big ups to them. Good luck next week. As well as Philly. Good luck with both of them next week. Next up, can we just go ahead and give Russell Wilson the MVP? I mean, listen to this man's performance here today. Russell Wilson, all right, hear me out. Russell Wilson went 31 of 35 for 322 and 4 touchdowns. Think about that. 4 incompletions. He threw 322 yards, 4 touchdowns. If you had him or Aaron Rodgers on your fantasy team, you were very happy. Now, the game was decent. Matt Ryan also played really, really good. He had like 400-something yards passing, but I think he had like 2 picks. Todd Gurley, decent showing, making his debut with Atlanta. Atlanta just had a very, very, tough showing. They got to play Dallas next week, which we'll get into more. Jamal Adams, you can immediately tell Jamal Adams was being a force on that defense. If they would have added Clowney too, oh my God. But Jamal Adams, I think it was worth Seattle giving up those 2 picks to the Jets to get Jamal Adams. He was an absolute stud in this game, as was Russell Wilson. Chris Carson looked good. Quandre Diggs. DK Metcalf. I mean, you've got those guys looked incredible. Julio, great game from him. Todd Gurley. It's just Russell Wilson. Just go ahead and give him the league MVP. I mean, this is a guy who has put the team on his back even when they had the Legion of Boom, it was all about that defense, and he would come in and manage the game like he was supposed to, help them win the Super Bowl, did everything. And Russell Wilson is one of the most underappreciated quarterbacks, and I know the 12s really appreciate him as a quarterback. And personally, he's one of my favorite players to watch. Is Russell Wilson. I mean, just like I said, if it ends up not being him and Rodgers both just went on an absolute tear today, man. They tore the house down, and it was what more can you say? It was an absolute fantastic show to watch. Next up, let's get into this. So let me get this straight. Chicago makes a decision. We're gonna start Mitchell Trubisky over Nick Foles. Okay, cool. So I'm going to be honest. I didn't really see this game. I saw highlights of it. I didn't actually watch the whole game, but the highlights I did see. Detroit was up 23-6. And then here I am as a Packer fan laughing hysterically. Because I'm like, look, the Bears have done embarrass themselves again with Trubisky. I look at the score. 23-13. I'm like, okay. I'm like 23-20. Okay. And then all of a sudden I see 27-23 and I'm like, Detroit, what are you doing? I know Mitch threw a fourth quarter pass touchdown to Jimmy Graham, which got it down to 10. And then he was avoiding sacks, doing what he had to do, but also fumbling. I mean, there was one time where he fumbled and it went all the way back, and it was bad. They were down by 10 with about 3 minutes to go, though, so I'm thinking, hey, during the home stretch, everything's good. Tyreek Cohen made a clutch catch, though. They were able to get back in it late, and, Stafford, they went for a throw. Ended up being an interception. Bears took the lead. Bears take a dub, 27-23. I mean, I don't know what more you can say. Chicago looked good. They won this game after being down 23-6. Scored 21 unanswered points in the quarter. In the fourth quarter. So I guess Trubisky is the starter. You never know, because I thought Foles was going to obviously be the better quarterback. But not just that, but Detroit, at the very, very end of the game, it was interesting to me. They had about 10 seconds, and they got in the end zone, but the dude dropped it in the end zone. So Detroit had a chance to win there at the end. They could easily kept the lead, though, but they blew it. They absolutely blew it, and it's a shame, because I would have loved to have seen Detroit. I mean, we play them next week, and they are going to be a very, very, very angry team, and I'm not looking forward to that. Having to play them being angry. How about this next game, though? Baltimore and Cleveland. Your eyes do not deceive you. I picked Baltimore to win this game. I did. I picked Baltimore to win. But I said, Cleveland was going to keep it competitive. Boy, was I wrong. Kevin Stefanski put out a big stinker. Baltimore routed Cleveland 38-6. Baltimore just looked great on all three facets of the game. Offense, defense, special teams. There was not a single thing I think they did wrong in this game. And Lamar Jackson just picked up his MVP campaign from last year. Said, you know what? Let me repeat. But this time, I think Lamar is out to prove something. He wants to actually he wants to be the man. Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson. He wants to prove that he can win. And Lamar Jackson's good. But then come playoff time, you have playoff Lamar, then you have regular season Lamar. Baker Mayfield looked like crap in this game, and I'm sorry, they play Cincinnati Thursday night. I don't know if they win that game, to be honest, because Cincinnati played good against the Chargers, which I'll get to in another video, separate one. That'll be part 2 on the channel, which will be out soon. They looked pretty good in that game. You never know, though. Cleveland could turn some stuff around. It was the head coaching debut of Stefanski. I really didn't see anything that I liked. I didn't. When you lose 38-6, Matt Rule lost, of course, but he kept his game competitive, and he kind of did some things that kind of meshed well and gelled well with me. Jordan, I thought it was really, really, really good. Buffalo and the Jets. Buffalo, of course. I thought maybe, with the way things were going in upsets, I was like, is the Jets going to pull it off? But no, I think Buffalo wins this. Not only do they win this game, I think they win the division. I think that this is a strong, strong, strong Buffalo team. I love Josh Allen. Josh Allen is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the entire NFL. The acquisition of Stephon Diggs really helped them. They were up 21-3 one point in this game. And the Jets kind of started chipping at the lead and started fighting back. And, that's the thing you got to love about week 1 is you never know with any of these teams what's going to go on. You never know how one team's going to react, how another team's going to go. You just don't. Unless, it goes after 17 weeks, you realize where everybody's at. Hey, even like 3, 4, 5 weeks, you realize, okay, this team's going to be good, this team's not. Buffalo, they're not a pretender. They're going to be a contender, and I would not be surprised if when you get into the playoffs, if they're not a surprise team, it's going to shock and surprise a lot of people. I love this team. I love everything about Buffalo. And here they are, starting out with a big, big win today. They needed a win, as did the Jets. And Buffalo got it. They look good. And I think that it's some momentum that they can carry going into week 2. The Jets, they were underdogs, as were the Washington football team, and you saw what Washington did. Jacksonville was also an underdog, and they won. I mean, so what more can you do besides, speaking of AFC East, we get into the other AFC East matchup where we have Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Miami Dolphins taking on Cam Newton and the New England Patriots. Big story, big story in this one. Check this out. So you don't have Tua starting. Instead, you have Ryan Fitzpatrick starting. But you also have Cam Newton, who has not played a game in the NFL since week 2 last year for the Panthers. What I think is interesting to me is Cam Newton played like he hadn't even lost a step in this game. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. It was 14-11 at one point. Well, I think it was like 7-3, 14-3, 14-11, 21-11. But yeah, I mean, Dolphins did play him hard. They kept it competitive. Fitzpatrick looks good, but I do feel like by the end of the season we will see some of Tua. I would not mind seeing Tua, how he has matured at the NFL level. But how about a performance for Cam? He's glad to see Cam back. I always liked Cam. I always thought he was a really good quarterback. And he kind of got a bad rep after that Super Bowl with he got a really bad rep after that Super Bowl with Carolina against Denver. And his redemption tour, he's back. He wants to be proven that he can do his thing. And Bill Belichick is the perfect coach to get it out of him, because Bill Belichick is a hell of a coach. So, New England goes to 1-0. Them and Buffalo are now tied atop the division. Patriots have to play Seattle next week, though. And as I told you earlier, Russell Wilson, it's already week 1 and he's playing lights out football. Yeah, New England, you might be in trouble there with Cam Newton. But Cam's gonna get the thing. He's different than Brady. Brady's a great thrower. Cam Newton's a great scrambler, but he can also throw it whenever he needs to throw it. But that's the thing about Cam, is he's not afraid to take those risks, not afraid to run. And Fitzpatrick has also been known to put the Jets on every now and again at a certain time. But yeah, New England came up with the dub. I mean, what more can you say about them? They picked it up. Big ups to them. Big ups to the dogs, man. All right. Arguably the biggest upset to me this week. The Indianapolis Colts, led by a new quarterback, Phillip Rivers, took on Minshew Mania and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, I believed at the beginning of the season Jacksonville was going to go maybe 2-14, 3-13. They still can, but I don't see if that's likely. I always felt like Jacksonville was going to get the first pick. They still can. I mean, it's only week one. Like I said, you never know. But how about Gardner Minshew? Listen to this. Gardner Minshew, a big reason for them winning. Gardner Minshew went 19 of 20, 173 yards and 3 touchdowns. As you heard me, 19 of 20. 19 of 20. He only had one incompletion the whole game. Jacksonville with a huge upset over Indianapolis. I really think, I really do think that he's going to be a future player for Jacksonville, and I hope, if they do get the first pick, that they end up not going with Trevor Lawrence, or they end up not doing whatever you would think that they do. They've got some key pieces there on the defense. I know they recently just traded away Yannick Ngakoue. They got rid of Leonard Fournette, so it looked like they were tanking. They got rid of Calais Campbell, so it just AJ Boye, they got rid of him, and it just looked like they were tanking. And it's like, hey, what are you doing, Jalen Ramsey last year? But now they picked up a win, and I don't know if this is all smoke and mirrors. It's going to be interesting to find out next week and the next coming weeks if this is smoke and mirrors, or if the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be like the 2017 form, where they're going to be a sleeper team and they're going to be a team to watch out for. Indianapolis, I think, will bounce back from this, though. This is kind of a learning curve. I do think it was interesting seeing Phillip Rivers in kind of a new environment. And that's how a lot of these quarterbacks were. You had a new environment with Brady, Newton, Phillip Rivers, Teddy Bridgewater, all of these guys. You had everybody coming in here and playing good. But big ups to Jacksonville. Jacksonville got the W, and that's important. Carried on. All right, guys. Next up, we get to the game of the week. To me, your boy, his team started out the year 1-0. Strong start by my boys, the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers, absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. 32 of 44 with 364 and 4 touchdowns. Davante Adams, 14 receptions for 156 and 2 touchdowns. Who said we needed a receiver? I know Kirk Cousins also threw 2 touchdowns and threw a pick. But who says we needed a receiver? Davante Adams played his heart out. Everybody played their heart out. But this game was kind of weird as far as scoring, because Green Bay, they kicked the field goal. Minnesota scored a touchdown. Then Green Bay got a safety. So it was 7-5 at one point. Then it was 8-7. And it ended up being like 22-7, I think, at the half. And then it ended up being 29-10 going into the third. And then 36 to like 17 or something. And then Minnesota just started scoring points. And at the end, it looked as if Minnesota was going to get a safety and make it a 7-point game, meaning they would have got the ball back with a chance to go down and tie it and send it to OT. But they didn't. They didn't do that. They ended up winning by 9. Green Bay looked good. And I'm glad. We needed this win, because we played Detroit next week, who's going to be upset. And then we play the Saints in week 3. Having Rodgers is always a good quarterback. And I had a lot of people saying Minnesota could win this game. And I thought that there was a good chance they could too, with it being at home, which of course now home field really isn't as big of a thing until they actually do start allowing fans back. But I really thought, you know, that home field would be something. But we pulled it out, and that's the way you got to pull it out in the end. Rodgers, it's a whole team effort: offense, defense, special teams. I love the way these guys played. I love my team. Love Coach Matt LaFleur, and I feel like this is Rodgers' redemption tour. They drafted Jordan Love. This is his redemption. Aaron Jones looked good. We got some reps from A.J. Dillon. Yannick Ngakoue looked good. Danielle Hunter. But it also was the thing of, you got to realize that it looked as if at the times Minnesota was lost on offense. You could tell they needed Diggs. They were hurt not having Diggs. And the fact that Diggs was not there, you can tell affected them. And it affected them mentally, physically, emotionally. Green Bay was able to wear them down with the Smith brothers. Jair Alexander had an interception. The O-line led by Bakhtiari was good. Alan Lazard did what he was supposed to. Marquez Valdez-Scantling did what he was supposed to. I mean, it was a whole team effort. And obviously we picked up the W. I'm happy. We're ready to move on. Ready to go into Detroit. Play them. See how things go. Hopefully we go 2-0 because week 3 we played New Orleans. And that is going to be a tough one. That is going to be a game that I'm nervous for it. I might lose some sleep over it. So y'all pray for me. Y'all let me know. Also, like I said, let me know how you want me to do these videos. Do you want me to do Packer recap separate? Do you want me to do each game individually separate? Do you want me to do all of the Sunday games in one video, the Thursday night in one video, the Monday night in one video? Or do you want me to do it like this? But if I do it like this, it'll be just the 1 o'clock games. And then it'll be the 4 o'clock games in another video, which will be a shorter one. Then the Sunday night and then the Monday night. This week, I'm going to be putting the Sunday night matchup with the 4:25 games. And then I'm going to be doing the 2 Monday night games recap together. So it should be 3 separate videos that you're seeing of recaps. But I'm usually probably going to do about 4 Thursday, whatever. If that's too much, let me know. But I'd rather it be like this than be super long. I think we're already reaching like close to the 30-minute mark on this video. If you stuck around for me this long, I love you guys. I love my audience. As always, just if you stuck around, let me know what your thoughts were on NFL Week 1. And this is part 1 of a 3-part video. I'll be recapping the Bengals, Chargers, Bucks, Saints, Cardinals, 49ers, and Rams, Cowboys game, which just went final as this is going on. As always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys next time. As always, it's been your boy Killer Cam. Stay motivated. Love y'all. Peace. I'm out.